Hello and welcome to another part, sort of, in our tuning guide series for RAS EFI ECUs. Today we are talking about sequential versus wasted spark and paired versus sequential injection. While this isn't specifically relevant for RAS EFI and can be used for any other ECU, it is something that I get asked a lot, what the requirements are for each and what you need to run both of those. So I will explain it today and show you a few things that you have to watch out for. If you want to support us, you can become a channel member and help with our efforts of bringing tuning to the masses. To those who already do, I thank you a lot and appreciate what you do. First of all, we are gonna look at the injection. That would be sequential or paired injection, depending on what you run. Obviously, there is also single point injection, so the scenario where you have a single injector after a throttle body, so that would kind of work like a carburetor, but it is ECU controlled. A lot of older EFI cars use that system, like in the early 90s, for example, or maybe late 80s even. Then there is something called batch injection. That is basically where you have 4 separate injectors, like for example on the early 4AGs in a Toyota A86 that uses that, and in that scenario all of the injectors fire at the same time, so they don't have any specific timing, they just fire at the same time, and the fuel gets delivered into the cylinders by, well, just flowing into them whenever they feel like it, I guess. The fuel feels like it, I guess. This is in idle and part throttle very or relatively inefficient, because obviously you will have fuel sitting on top of the closed valves. While yes, it's not much and it's not for a long period of time, as even on idle RPM it's not going to be very long when the valve is closed, and also it's not going to be a lot of fuel, but the efficiency and how the engine is running when at idle especially isn't going to be ideal and not going to be great. This kind of doesn't matter as much if you're under load and higher RPMs, but still can make a difference, especially when it comes to atomization, which basically is almost impossible to control correctly at idle, and even under load you can have some issues, as you sometimes like just spray on the back of the valve when it's closed. Then there comes paired injection. So when you basically have 2 output channels of your ECU, or you're using 2 output channels of your ECU, and each of those channels is controlling 2 injectors. Or rather, if you're using a 6-cylinder, that would be 3 output channels that are using 2 injectors each. That would be paired injection. That, while it is better than batch injection, still has the same issue with the relatively bad efficiency and rough running at idle and part throttle, as again, while the piston position on cylinder, for example 1 and 4, where these injectors would inject at the same time, are at the same point, so they will be both at TDC, as an example. The valves, because of the cams, are at different positions, obviously. So this is also in the same way a negative as with batch injection. So you will spray the back of the valve. The thing is, or what is a good thing, is that you are able to run paired ignition with a lot more of a basic setup than for example sequential ignition injection, because you only need a missing tooth, or like only need a crank trigger signal that, for example, has a missing tooth, so the ECU knows on what or where TDC is actually. So you only need one sensor that has the rotation of the engine, or that knows the rotation of the engine, and basically the positioning of the crank. And that is the main benefit of using paired injection. The same thing goes for wasted spark. So if you are using 2 output channels and each of the output channels is using two or is firing two cylinders. This could also be, for example, if you are using one coil that fires two cylinders at the same time, like in the MX5. There are two coils, they are split fire and they fire two cylinders at the same time. That's also wasted spark, because you are basically wasting one spark event because it's firing while the valves are closed and in cylinder 4, and you are basically not doing anything with the air and fuel mixture, while in cylinder 1 everything would be working and this spark would be used. The thing is now, when you want to use sequential injection and sequential ignition, then you need a reference for the camshaft. So because the crankshaft is rotating twice for every one cam rotation, the ECU, while it knows the crank RPM, it doesn't know where the camshaft is. So it might be 100 degrees out from where the ECU thinks it is. So it can only assume that one of the two cylinders in a 4-cylinder is at the actual correct timing. So 1 and 4, so it fires both at the same time, because it doesn't know which one's the correct one, because it only has a crank reference and in paired ignition and paired injection. So it will fire both at the same time. And if it has then a cam reference, so that you are basically telling the ECU, well, now it's every 2 cycles of the crankshaft or every 1 cycle of the camshaft. Now I know, or the ECU knows, when the actual compression or actually the combustion stroke is in the engine, and it knows when to activate which individual output. That is why it is important, if you want to run sequential anything, you need a cam reference. The position of where the cam reference is does not really matter. Usually the best case would be using one single pin on the cam wheel, like one single tooth as a reference. That makes it easiest to configure, because as you can see here in the software, if you use a missing tooth trigger wheel, like for example a 36-2 or like custom tooth wheel, you usually, what would be a common setup would be 36 teeth and then missing 1. And then you can also select on cam or crankshaft. While most cars will have a wheel on the crank or like the flywheel or wherever, there's also scenarios, for example on the 4AGE, where you have 2 sensors within the distributor, and then you can use those 2 because they are basically using different wheels to for the trigger. One is using 24 pins or teeth and one's using 1 tooth. You can use one on the camshaft or one on the crankshaft, and the other one, if it's also on the camshaft, you can use the other one also as a cam reference, but you would have to select a camshaft here. Normally this would be on crankshaft though. And then in Rust EFI, it's you have a lot more options to select the actual cam reference, so you have all these options right here. But on most ECUs, like for example Speeduino, you only have a basic selection of how the cam sensor is set up, but still it works, and you can, if you have a cam sensor, run sequential. It's also possible to use a mix of both, which actually a lot of ECUs stock use, like for example the MX5NB, they use wasted spark ignition and they use sequential injection. The reason for that is because already with sequential injection, you are not wasting the fuel by spraying the fuel into the cylinder that's actually not used. So you are saving fuel there. And on wasted spark, well, the spark doesn't really use any resources, so it doesn't really matter if it's a wasted spark setup. And yeah, so that's just not a negative thing. And due to using split fire coils, they can save a little bit of money. That's what I would assume. And that is basically it. Also, one thing to note, the angle of the cam reference does not matter. So where the trigger point or the tooth sits on the cam wheel, that doesn't really matter. It only does in some instances with some VVT setups, but you'll have to research that on your own. But with a normal setup with just trigger duty, it does not really matter. If you have any questions about this, let me know in the comments down below. I know some people are confused about this, that's why I made this video. It's not really a part of the tuning series, but I wanted to explain it because it seemed important to me. That's it from me. I wish you a nice day as always, and goodbye.